Hi, boys and girls. Okay, so let's go into our math lesson for today, Wednesday, May 6th. We are on chapter 9.11 and we are starting on page 397. Looks like this. So go ahead and find this page, page 397. I'm going to put this down for a minute because this is really going to be a big review for us today. In math, we have learned a lot about shapes, about what makes each shape different, what makes shapes alike or similar to each other. So let's first review the three words that we have here that we use to describe our shapes. The first word that we have is vertex, and we know what this is. A vertex is a corner. So I have a triangle down at the bottom, and I have an arrow pointing to one vertex. But how many vertices or how many corners does this triangle have? 1, 2, 3. So this triangle has 3 vertices, and all triangles have 3 vertices. The next word that we've worked with is curve. Say that with me. Curve. We've worked with this a lot, and a curve talks about a bend. We see that here on our circle. Are there any corners on the circle? No, and there should not be. So there are no vertices on a circle, only a curve. Do that with your hand and say curve. Curve. It's bending around. It's not straight. There's no corner. This is a curve. And then the other word that we use to describe our shapes is side. We know that a side is flat. It is straight. We see here on our rectangle, how many sides does the rectangle have? The arrow is pointing to 1, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. The rectangle has 4 sides, as all rectangles do, and there's another shape that has 4 sides. Can you think of it? Square. A square also has 4 sides. Okay, so now we have these words vertex, curve, and side. Now we're going to compare our shapes. You can do this in your book, but I have here the little whiteboard to help us talk about the shapes, to compare them. So we're going to talk about things that the shapes have that are the same or alike, and things that are different about our shapes. Let's look at our first two at the top. I have a square and I have a rectangle. What is something that is alike about the square and the rectangle? I'll give you a hint. Think about the sides. How many sides does the square have? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many sides does the rectangle have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So something that is alike about the square and the rectangle is that they both have 4 sides. What else is alike about the square and the rectangle? What else is similar or the same? Give you a hint. How many vertices does the square have? How many vertices does the rectangle have? 4 and 4. So they both have 4 sides, 4 vertices. Now, what is different about the square and the rectangle? There is something different that we see here. What is it? Does the square have 4 sides that are the same length? Yes. Does the rectangle have 4 sides that are the same length? We have 4 sides, but we have 2 long sides and 2 short sides. So that is something that is different. Let's take a look down at the bottom with your triangle and your circle. Is there anything alike with the triangle and the circle? Do they both have the same number of sides? Do they have the same number of vertices? No, because a circle doesn't have any sides or vertices. Does a triangle have a curve? Is there any part of a triangle that bends? No, so there's nothing alike with a triangle and a circle. But of course, we know what is different. The circle has a curve, and your triangle has sides and vertices. Excellent work. So that is something that you can do on page 397. Talk about what makes the shapes alike and what makes the shapes different. And you can take a look here. We see that the vertex, we have an arrow pointing down to our triangle. We see the vertex here, the worm is going around that curve. And the worm on the bottom, he's on a flat, straight side. So we know that he's on a side. We can see it here at the rectangle. Point to your side. Point to your vertex. We see a circle here. Point to your side in the circle. Trick question. Point to the curve on the circle. Excellent. Point to your vertex on the square. Point to a side on the square. You guys got it. You are pros. So down here are your directions. Let me take out my crayons. For down here, you're going to be detectives. I'm going to read it to you. We're going to color different shapes, different colors. It says to use green to color the shapes that have 4 vertices and 4 sides. So find your green crayon, and if your shape has 4 vertices and 4 sides, make it this color. Then our directions say use blue to color the shapes with curves. That's only one shape, and we know what it is. If your shape has curves, let's color it blue. And then last, we're going to use red to color the shapes with 3 vertices and 3 sides. So use that red crayon to color the shape with 3 vertices and 3 sides. Okay? And so that's the start of our review. Next, what I want you to do is turn to page 398. And here we see a chart. At the top of the chart, it says alike, different. Say that with me. Alike, different. And our directions at the bottom say to place 2-dimensional shapes. So use your shape cards or your shape cutouts that we've been using. And you're going to sort the shapes by the number of vertices. And then you can go ahead and draw the shapes. So I'm not going to show you with my cutout shapes because we've been using them, we know how to use them. But I would like you to sort by the number of vertices. In the column that says alike and different, let's sort. What shapes have the same number of vertices? We just talked about it. What shapes have 4 vertices? The square. And what else? The rectangle. So place your shape cutouts underneath alike because they both have 4 vertices. And then under different, place and then draw the shape that has a different number of vertices. Think about that carefully. A shape with a different number of vertices. Draw that here. And then we're going to come to page 399. We have the exact same thing. We have a chart, alike and different. And our directions here want us to sort the shapes by the number of sides. So again, What two shapes have the same number of sides? Place them and then draw them here. What two shapes have the same number of sides? And then choose a shape with a different number of sides. It could even have 0 sides. And place and draw that here. Okay, so here we were focusing on the vertices, same and different, alike and different. Here we're using sides, shapes with the same number of sides, shapes with a different number of sides. You can make 2 shapes here in this box. Okay. And then finally, let's turn to page 400, boys and girls, 400. At the top part of your box, you have a riddle to answer. I am a shape. I have a curve. What shape am I? Draw that shape here. I am a shape. I have a curve. And then come down to your chart at the bottom. Draw shapes sorted by a curve and no curve. So in this box underneath curve, there's only one shape you can make. Make the shape that has the curve. Draw it here. And under no curve, draw all 3 shapes that we've learned about that have no curve. That was hard work, boys and girls. I know that this is a lot that we have learned in just the last couple of weeks, but I am so proud of you. Keep using your shape cards, you keep using your shape cutouts, and even looking for shapes around your house. Look at your dining room table. What shape is that? How many sides does it have? How many vertices? Maybe find something in your house that has a curve. Really focusing on shapes with sides, vertices, and curves, and practicing noticing them, practicing seeing them, okay? Great job, boys and girls. I will see you so soon. Bye-bye.